Sunday, December 27th. Blind date number 6. Aunt Camille's pick. The breakfast crowd is left. Nana is upstairs getting ready for church, and Papa is taking a mid-morning nap in his chair in the living room. So I thought this was a perfect time. Quiet moment to catch up with Addie. So, Griffin dropped off a gift for me, I tell her. What was it? Hold on, I'll send you a pic. I take the bracelet out of the box and put it on so that the letters lie against my wrist. I snap a pic, then send it to Addie. Did you get it? She's quiet a second, then asks, Is that y'all's initials? Yep. I read her the note that came with it. Huh? She says. Is it weird? Well, it's weird because it sounds like he got it for you after you broke up with him. And it's also kind of that he waited until the day before Christmas to buy your gift. I think about the wrapped gift under the tree at home with his name on it that I bought 3 weeks ago. The kitchen door opens and closes, but I don't get up. I'm shocked when I see Wes standing in the door of the family room. I'll call you back in a minute, I say to Addie, and end the call before she can ask why. Hey, I say, what's up? Is my voice too loud? I think it's too loud. Between eavesdropping on his conversations with Charlie in the car and his coming to my rescue last night, I officially feel awkward around him. He drops down beside me on the couch and holds out a small tube of lip gloss. I think this fell out of your bag. Found it in my truck this morning. Oh, yes, that's mine. Yep, too loud. I reach out to take it, and he glances down at my wrist. Before I can stop him, he holds my hand up high enough so that he can study it. Is this new? And I see the moment he realizes what the charm is. Yeah, I answer. He lets my hand fall. Well, anyway, just wanted to get that back to you and check on Margot and Anna. He's closed off now. I want to chuck this bracelet across the room. It's like Griffin marked me with this thing. Margot and Anna are about the same. I talked to her earlier and she sent a few more pictures, I say. Mom said they'll be in the hospital a bit longer, but that's normal, since she's a preemie. Wes nods and stares off into the distance. Were you able to get tickets to the hockey game? I ask. He nods, still not looking at me. Yeah, Dad has some tickets they weren't using. He gets up from the couch and moves towards the door. Well, I guess I'll see you there. I want to say, please, come back. Or, I think this bracelet is weird. Or any number of things, but all that comes out is, okay. At some point, while I've been staring at the door, Nana turns up, all dressed for church. Well, I'm off. Be back shortly. I hop up from my chair. I need a distraction. Wait, I say, and Nana stops at the back door. Give me a few minutes to change. I'm coming with you. The church is old and big and really beautiful. We squeeze into an open space, 3 rows back from the altar. I stare straight ahead, waiting for things to get started. But Nana twists around in the pew, checking out who's here, like she's taking roll. I lean closer and whisper, "Who are you looking for?" Her gray hair tickles my cheek. "This is the perfect place to scope out boys. That's what you need, a good boy who goes to church on Sunday." And now I want to run for my life. She's trying to set me up in church. "Oh, look, she says loud enough to get everyone's attention in the rows around us. They all swivel around to see what she's pointing out. "Shirley's grandson is sitting with her, and he's grown up into a fine-looking young man." Nana nudges me. "Sophie, what do you think about him?" And now everyone is trying to check out Shirley's grandson. I cover my face with my hands so no one can see it turning bright red. The woman sitting in front of us leans over the pew. "He's staying with her because he got kicked out of school for drugs," the woman says. Kicked out of school for drugs, the woman says. She whispers the word drugs so quietly I can barely hear it. "Oh, well, that won't do," Nana says. Peeking through my fingers to watch this train wreck, I see the woman stretch even closer. I'm afraid she's going to topple right over into our laps. "Have you seen my grandson, Thomas? He's a nice boy." Her head nods dramatically to the guy sitting next to her, who looks as freaked out as I am. I give him my very best I'm sorry our grandmothers are so embarrassing look. He nods and turns back around. Nana pats the woman on the shoulder and says, "Fine-looking boy." Thankfully, the organ music swells and fills the room, and the rest of Nana's words are drowned out by the choir in the balcony above us. I'm at the kitchen table while Nana stands at the stove, making a big pot of spaghetti. And it's the calm before the storm. By noon, everyone will be here for Sunday lunch. "Those two are getting ridiculous," Nana says, pointing to the date board. Uncle Sal and Uncle Michael are still fighting over who gets to pick the date for date 8. There is sticky note over sticky note, each of them trying to get his name on top. "You're going to have to make a ruling on that because I'm not going to go on 2 dates in one day." Nana clucks her tongue. "It'll work out." She goes back to cooking, and I go back to waiting for Addie to text me. There's a soft ping when Griffin's name appears on the screen, and my belly does a flip. I haven't heard from him at all since Christmas Eve. I swipe open his message. "Griffin, did you get the gift? Did you get the gift I left for you?" I started a thank you text to him 12 times, but never pressed send. Mainly because I'm not sure what to think about the gift. I did. Thank you. When did you drop it off? Griffin, drove back over Christmas Eve, but no one could find you, so I left it for your grandmother. We had probably already left to go see Margot and Anna. That must be why Nana knew we were gone. Griffin, just want to tell you again, I'm okay with you trying to figure out how you feel, but I'm also glad I haven't seen any more pics of you out with other guys. I don't have a response for this. And then I can't help but laugh when I think about what a pic from my date last night with Nathan would have looked like. Maybe one of us in his truck with the fast food spread out across our laps, and scenes from the X-rated movie playing in front of us. Or maybe I would have posted something of me and Alma with the array of adult toys behind us. But what's really killing me about Griffin's text is the fact that he's okay with me going on these dates. Part of me doesn't care if he's okay with it or not. This is about me, not him. And the other part of me wonders, if I were really in love with someone, would I be okay seeing them go on dates with someone else? Thankfully, I'm saved from responding when Nana asks me to take the garlic bread out of the oven. Within minutes, people start streaming through the back door, and the noise level increases by 1,000%. I've given some thought as to how I'm going to act when I see the evil Joes, but I'm not prepared when Aunt Maggie May and Uncle Marcus come in the door with only Jolynn. I keep staring at the door, waiting for Mary Jo, but she never shows. Okay, something is weird, Olivia says behind me. They are always together, like always. I know, I say. And I had this speech all worked out. I was going to really give it to them for what they did to you last night. Before I can tell her not to worry, Charlie skids into the room and stops right in front of us. Wondering why Mary Jo isn't here? He asks. Olivia punches him in the shoulder. Of course. Spill it. He leans in close. Aiden broke up with her last night. Why? Olivia asks in a shocked voice. From what I heard, she's accused him of flirting with Sophie. Lost it on him. It sounds like she does this all the time and he's over it. He was not flirting with me, I say. He was showing me pictures of his nephew. Oh, God. I shouldn't feel bad for her, but a tiny part of me does. I know how awful a breakup feels. Stop it right now, Soph, Charlie says. I see that look on your face, and we're not feeling sorry for her. Nana passes by and shoos us off, telling us to set the table. So do you think Nana's gonna set up a date board for her? Olivia asks. A few minutes later, as she sets down the plates, I follow behind her with silverware. I have no idea, I say. We move on to the extra table Nana pulled out last week, which Olivia, Charlie, Sarah, Graham, Jake, and I have claimed as our own. Jake calls it the OSF TBT, one step from the big table, as opposed to the KT, kitty table, and HCR, high chair row. At least Aunt Patrice notices the empty bar stool at the kitchen counter. Where's Mary Jo? She asks. Everyone at OSFTBT stops what they're doing and looks up. Aunt Maggie May spins around on her stool. She woke up feeling poorly, so we told her she could stay home and rest. She'll be here. She'll be right as rain before long. Does she honestly think she can keep anything secret in this family? Sarah whispers. You underestimate how scared everyone is of Aunt Maggie May. We'll all talk about it, but not in front of her. You underestimate how scared everyone is of Aunt Maggie May. We'll all talk about it, but not in front of her. Jake adds. Graham nods along. I bet. Even Nana doesn't say anything. And now I feel even worse for Mary Jo. Even though I hated the attention from the blind date board when it first happened, I can't deny that it's brought me closer to my family in a weird sort of way. It feels pretty nice to have so many people rooting for your happiness. And Mary may miss her chance at a piece of that. Okay, so this is volume 2 of 3. And that means that we are on a little commercial break to find volume 3. Oh, excuse me. Jason Derulo. I hope he doesn't turn out to be a sex offender. I really liked Jason Derulo. Much say. Alright, we found volume 3. Let's see. Sometimes the volumes start on the same chapter, and sometimes they go into the next chapter. So let's see how this one goes. Stop button. Eek. Okay. Alright, it's probably a continuation. So, 10 blind dates, Sunday, December 27th. Blind date 6, Aunt Camille's pick continued. Of course, the family stays after Nana's spaghetti lunch to see who's picking me up for the hockey game. Well, everyone except Aunt Maggie May and her crew. I have to work late tomorrow, Uncle Ronnie says. Somebody needs to FaceTime me. Somebody needs to FaceTime me during the pickup so I don't miss it. Charlie is standing next to Graham by the staircase. He leans close and says, "Those hockey games last about 2 hours. If it starts at 3, then the game would be over around 5. And it's about a 20-minute ride from the arena back here." Graham holds up a hand. But that's only if she's bailed. But that's only if she doesn't bail halfway through like last night. I thought she'd at least wait until the end of the movie before she ditched that guy. Jake won the bet last night, only because he heard dinner, but not movie, and has been. rubbing it in everyone's face all day long. Charlie and Graham are determined to beat him, too. I lean in close. You want the inside scoop? Aunt Camille probably picked someone halfway decent, so I don't foresee leaving early. Charlie and Graham smile as they scratch their names. They scratch their names in at 5:25 and 5:30. But you owe me half if you win, I say, before walking away. Hey, Uncle Ronnie squeals from across the room. Y'all got some insider info the rest of us don't know about. Charlie shakes his head and rolls his eyes. Please, Sophie's a wild card. Never ask what she's gonna do on one of these dates. I turn to Uncle Ronnie and shrug. There's some truth in that. Wes pops in just before the designated time for my date's arrival. Hey, I say when he stops next to Olivia and me. He nods to me. Hey. Before I can say anything else, the doorbell rings, and a quiet hush falls over the crowd. This is getting ridiculous, people, I say as I push through my family to get through the door. Several family members scramble to finish placing their bets. I swing open the door and am surprised to see a familiar face on the other side. Hey, I say enthusiastically. Hey, Wyatt says as he steps through the door, giving me a quick hug. I met Wyatt last summer when Aunt Camille roped all of us into helping at the huge pet adoption thing. Wyatt and I bathed all the dogs before the event started, so they would have the best chance of being rescued. He's a really nice guy, and we have at least one thing in common: the inability to tell Aunt Camille no. But mostly, I'm relieved that this date should hold very few surprises. Wait, foul, Uncle Michael calls out. They already know each other. Therefore, this can't be a blind date. Aunt Camille rushes forward. Wrong. She didn't know he was the one she was going out with tonight. This is the very definition of a blind date. Wyatt and I just stare at them. They've definitely gone off the rails. And it's only 2:30. We've only met once before, Wyatt says, and we really don't know each other. I hold up my hands. If we don't leave now, we'll miss the beginning of the game. And since I've never been to a hockey game before, I really don't want that to happen. We'll see y'all later. I grab Wyatt's hand and pull him through the open door. Oh, and don't wait up. We may stop for ice cream on the way home. I wink at Graham and Charlie. The uncles huddle in and whisper worriedly. Aunt Camille waves from the front porch and says, I'll see y'all there. Is she coming with us? I ask Wyatt on the way to his car. Wyatt looks back over his shoulder, then to me. His complexion is super pale, so he can't hide the slight blush that spreads across his cheeks. I have no idea. She asked if I wanted to take you to the game. And I said, of course. Then she handed me some tickets, and that's all I know. We catch up on the way to the arena. He goes to the same high school as Olivia, Charlie, and Wes, but he doesn't know them well because it's such a huge school. It's hard for me to imagine since mine is so small. We chat about senior year and college selections, and before long, we're here. Wyatt pulls his car up to the gate designated for season ticket holders. Your aunt gave us a parking pass, too, he says. This is blowing my mind. I never even knew there was a hockey team here, and now Aunt Camille is a major hockey enthusiast. Once we've parked, I get out of the car and scan the arena. Why do all of these people have their dogs with them? Wyatt and I spin in a circle, and yes, almost everyone walking to the entrance has a dog on a leash. Small dogs, big dogs, everything in between. Suddenly, Aunt Camille's choice of date is making more sense. I have no idea. Then he stops abruptly and points to a large banner hanging from the side of the building that reads, Bring Your Pooch Day. All dogs welcome. At the game, owners optional. Oh, wow. Wyatt mutters. Wyatt hands our tickets over to be scanned, and we make our way inside. The lobby area is full of tables from local animal rescue missions, pet grooming businesses, pet grooming business, and veterinarians. There are even pets available for adoption. If I didn't think my mom would absolutely kill me, I'd totally be leaving here with something cute and furry. Just before we enter the short tunnel that will take us to our seats, we see Aunt Camille at a table for the same pet rescue group we helped her with last summer. We stop and wave. Isn't this wonderful? She screams from across the room. It's pretty exciting, I scream back, a little worried about my volume. I shouldn't be, though. It's impossible to be heard over the barking. Wyatt studies the tickets as we make our way inside the arena. The music is loud and fun, and the announcer is yelling about the doggy parade on ice that will happen at the first intermission. Need help finding your seats? A man with a Mudbugs t-shirt asks Wyatt. Please, Wyatt says, then hands the tickets over. Ah, you're in one of the boxes. The man points to several squared-off areas right next to the glass. In each squared-off area is a sectional sofa and a couple of big, puffy recliners, like the ones Papa has. You're in the one in the middle, right at the center ice. Okay, thanks, Wyatt answers. We exchange a big-eyed look. Then I follow him to our seats. Each area is enclosed with a short wall that is about the same height as the sofa, but just with a small opening to slip inside. There's also a coffee table in front of the couch, which holds a tray with a couple of bottles of water. Wyatt walks up to the glass and says, "This is pretty cool. I mean, we're right here practically on the ice." I pick up a note propped against the bottled water, which reads, Enjoy the game. Love, Aunt Camille. I guess if there's a way to see your first hockey game, this is it, I say with a grin. It's cold in here, way colder than I expected, and I can't help the shiver that rolls through me. Wyatt takes off his jacket and throws it around my shoulders. No, you'll be too cold without your jacket, I say, trying to give it back. He pushes my hand away lightly. I've got a long-sleeve shirt on under this pullover. I'm good. I pull it closer to me and sit in the corner of one of the couches. This box is pretty cold. It's pretty cool. But it's an awfully big space for just two people. No, for just the two of us. I look up toward the sea of faces, human and canine, that rise up behind us in the regular seats. And it feels a little like we're in a fishbowl.